Welcome to chat. My name is Shelly Smart and I am your executive director, and I think I know all of you. I don't see any new faces. Today is December 5th, 2024. I'm not really sure how that happened. December, let alone 2024. Where do the years go? So today, here's our agenda. Patty Schwellenbach is going to be discussing some upcoming events that she'd like to share with you all. Kathy Deno will discuss New Year's Eve. Lorraine Duran will present projects that we're currently working on. Pat Guerrero has an exciting presentation on Cubigo, everyone's favorite platform. And then I will be discussing a wealth of information on very important topics: renters insurance, Gaggle mail, billing statements, massage room, IRS scams, 911 calls, holidays, reflections on 2024, and then Newsweek rankings. So without further ado, I will pass it off to Patty.
Thank you. I just wanted to remind you that there are 2 holiday programs this weekend. The first one is our traditional Christmas program, which will be Friday at 4 o'clock here in the OVL, and that's the Sandpiper Singers. It's 4 o'clock. It is 4 o'clock, so don't come at 3. It's at 4. Okay, and then the Readers Theater is on Saturday at 3 o'clock. Okay, so don't get your times mixed up. It's at 3 o'clock, and that's going to be a humorous holiday play called Greetings. So please put that in your mind so you remember to come. It should be very fun. Thank you.
Thank you, Patty. Sorry for that. 4 o'clock. Do not go there at 3 o'clock. Well, you can to get the comfy seat. Like, people come to my chat early for the comfy seat. So it doesn't start until 4, but you're welcome to show up at 3. At 4. Sorry, did I say? It's at 4. The slide is wrong. Yes. The poster is correct. And the sandpaper, I'm assuming, is correct. This one slide is an error, so I apologize. Up next is Kathy Deno to present on New Year's Eve.
Oh, do I have to do that?
Yes, please. And if you could stand in front of here,
Oh.
I'm happy to hold anything you want.
Oh, good. Okay. Okay, good. You could hold this.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, tomorrow you will receive this. Oh, that's a good idea. In your mailbox. This is announcing the New Year's Eve lineup. It has your reservation card, and we'll be doing it the same as we did last year. You will put it in this little box that's going to be in the mail library, mail room. And each card should be for a table. So the person organizing the table should turn in the card. And I hope you enjoy it. It's something new. It'll be fun.
So reservations start tomorrow. What's
Yes. And the cutoff is the 16th. So get me the cards by the 16th, or you'll get a phone call. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. So remember, reservations start tomorrow, and you have until the 16th or the dreaded phone call. Okay. Up next is Lorraine Duran.
Thank you. Down. I don't know if I can read out that. Oh, glasses. Good afternoon, everyone. It's nice to see all of you. All right, so let's start with some updates on current projects. First, it would be our Spectrum project. So as I believe all of you know, we've completed the installation of our DVR boxes. I just wanted to remind anyone who was previously paying for DVR service, please be sure and keep an eye on your bill. If you're still getting charged after the month of November, Please call Spectrum right away and let them know. If you need any help with that, please call me and I'll be happy to help you with it. So you should not have any charges for any DVR service going forward. Our swimming pool remodel, don't have a lot of new information for you yet. We are still in plan review. Last we had submitted was regarding our gas proposal. We're waiting for our final permit approval. And believe me, as soon as we have that approval, I will definitely post it on Cubico for all of you. And then we'll talk about where we go as far as closing down the pool and the time frame for that. Did that change? Our card readers for our fobs. So we've replaced all the existing card readers, and as you know, we issued new fobs to everyone. We did begin in November, we started all of our cabling for the new card readers that are going to go in. They are still not complete with that yet. Unfortunately, our technician was pulled away. We're expecting him to be back in the next couple of weeks. So we will pick up that project and continue to move on. License plate recognition. We've installed both the front and rear license plate recognition cameras near the parking gate. In January, we're going to begin to transition away from the old system. So I will put out information on that, on when we're going to do that, where you can turn in your old clickers and get rid of those. And then just a reminder, if anybody has a rental car, please let us know. We can add the license plate quickly into the system so you can continue to use the parking gate easily. And if for some reason you need to have a tow truck come in, we can open the gate remotely for you. How's it working? How do you guys like it? Yeah? Question? Yes, Anita.
The license plate reader is not very fast. And if you get up to the gate, it doesn't open. So can we keep our clicker so that we can get in and out quickly?
For right now, you can, yes. So if that's happening, let me know because we're still doing a few adjustments on the camera. Sometimes it's the camera angle. I had that happen to me too, but now it's been better. Luis has been adjusting weekly on it.
Stay in the lane, please.
Yes, that's what happens is people tend to go in the other lane and then it can't read. Yes, Larry? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Any other questions on that? Yes.
Does that mean our clickers will not work after some?
Eventually, yes. Yes, eventually we're going to disconnect the old system, so. And there's a question on chat. Oh, I'm sorry. It said, please repeat all the questions. So the question originally was about that sometimes the license plate reader is slow to pick up the license plates. And just Luis gave us a good reminder about being sure that you stay in the lane and don't scoot over. Because sometimes we all tend to drive in the center versus in the appropriate lane. Our assisted living remodel. So as you guys can see, we began work in assisted living on this past Tuesday. So far, it's going very well. We started off with our soft demo. Painting is going to begin on Monday, December 9th. Because of the fact that they have to do a lot of masking in that area to keep the dining area down on the second floor safe, we are going to be closing the assisted living entrance for 1 week beginning on Monday. So I'll put out additional correspondence on that tomorrow, but we are going to be closing that area down just for 1 week while they do some painting in there. Yes.
Soft demo.
So the question is, what is a soft demo? So they took out all the baseboards, removed cabinet door fronts, no big demolition, no tearing out cabinets or things like that. And then our health center shower room is almost complete. We're just waiting final inspection. It looks very beautiful. I know Anita was up looking at it a couple of days ago. So it's come along nicely. So I'll put some pictures out for everyone on Cubico. And then upcoming projects, we are working on some walkway lighting replacement for East Campus. We're also going to be adding 2 additional sliding doors here in the OVL so we can create flexibility for events for people going in and out. And then we're going to be adding some door indicators on the inside and on the outside. So you'll be able to walk up to a door, for example, say from the outside, and you'll see a red or a green light, and you'll know which doors are open and which are locked. So you don't go walk up to a door and then it doesn't open. And then we're already kicking off 2025. We're going to be purchasing new washers and dryers for all the resident laundry rooms. I know that's a big yay. And then I want to be sure that all of you saw our invitation for the guest room open house, which is next Tuesday from 2 to 4:30. And all of our room numbers are listed there. I hope you can join us. We'll have some delicious snacks for you. And I think there was one question. Can you see the question?
Are the license plate readers and the existing detection system both working now?
Are the license plate readers and the existing detection system both working now? Yes, they are. Yes. Okay. Any other questions? Yes, Alan. Yes, it does. Yes. All right. All right. Thank you, everyone. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm so sorry. Let's see here. Oh, I do have one more slide, and a very exciting slide it is. So I know I shared this on Cubico, but we're going to be starting this project in the next couple of weeks on the corner of Pearl and Olivetas. Kathy Dano did this beautiful illustration for us. And I think you guys will be quite pleased. The Buildings and Grounds Committee has done an excellent job working on putting this together. Yes. Yes, there is. It's already been ordered. So the question was, is there a plan to replace actually, we're replacing the whole gate at Pearl Street. Yes. All right. And next is Miss Pat Guerrero with her exciting Cubico presentation. I know it's going to be exciting, Pat. You always make it exciting. There you go.
I know everyone, oh, thank you, Lorraine. I know everyone's favorite topic is Cubico. It really is good, and we are all learning how to work it more efficiently. So a focus for 2025 from Human Good is to have the residents complete more of the information in their profile, particularly their interests. And the reason that is, there is a way to pull information from the interests that would actually help all life enrichment directors maintain a better balanced calendar. So for example, if I have 10 people that have put on their interest profile that they want to play badminton, and I have no badminton on our calendar, then I'm not serving our residents well and presenting a resident-centered program. So Luis is going to help, and he's going to get us into Cubico, and I'm going to show you it's super easy to do, and it's very easy to find. And then we don't have to do it right away, but it's a push for 2025. The life enrichment, the CSC life enrichment director will be checking my calendars to see if it's matching the resident profiles, that I'm providing programming that you all want to do. Most other communities also take attendance at all functions, including bingo, bridge. We don't do that. And Shelly and I've talked about it, and we're pretty confident that the committees know who is in attendance. And I do take attendance on every resident trip, and I put it into a spreadsheet, but they just want to make sure that I am providing, or all life enrichment team members are providing the programming that you want, that I'm not just always taking you shopping or to casinos if you don't want to do that, which we don't do anyway. So I'm going to show you using our test resident, Donald Duck, how to get into your profile and your interest portion. So you're going to click on the little icon on the corner where it would maybe have a picture of you, and you're going to go right down in there to profile. And then from profile, there's a whole bunch of different things that you can look at. Your account, so you can update your email, your password. You can scroll down and look at all the different things that you can do. Your role, are you an independent living resident? That's a resident IL. Title, if you had one. If you want to put your birthday in, this is the place to do it. If you don't want your birthday on Cubigo, this is the place to do that. And you would just click on the little pencil icon and do that. If Donald Duck was eating in our dining room, it looks like he has a full count account, so that's nice. And then going, sorry, Louise, I might need your help just because I'm having a little problem holding the microphone and maneuvering. So we want to go back up to the top. So then let's go to personal next. Personal is just more information about you. And as you scroll down, you can see you can add your landline phone, you can add a cell phone, you can add all different information, address. Some of this will be populated because we've filled it in, but some of it won't be. And then you can add about me. And a couple years back, we had residents, we did a push on this and had residents put in information about their bio. You can write a little paragraph. Some people said, you know what, I don't want to write it. Just copy what sales has written about me in that bio and stick it in. So that's what we did. And then you could also add all these other things, birthplace, hometown, all of those kind of things. There's a lot of different questions that they ask. You don't have to fill in any of those things if you don't want to, but it's all there. Okay, and then we're going to scroll back up to the top. Thank you. Connections. Yes, go ahead, Paul. Well, it's secure in that only there are some things that other residents can see, and there's a lot of things that no one outside of the community can see. So, but yeah, anyone outside of White Sands. So most of your personal stuff is not shared. I mean, it's not available to anyone to see. And I can get you a drill down on exactly what is shared and what isn't. So the next thing is connections. And this is something that you might have never noticed before. Oh, I'm sorry, Louise, go ahead. Okay, so the point in all those other things, it's just information for you to share. Other residents can see some of it. But pertaining to the interests, it's something that Human Good is focusing on to make sure that life enrichment is providing activities that the residents want. So I'm just showing you this because maybe you've never looked in this before and you're like, I didn't even know there was connections in here. So this is a place that you can add. Let's say your spouse lives in a different part of White Sands. You can actually add a connection to your spouse so that you might be able to follow what their activities are doing or be able to check on things that they're doing. You don't have to do any of that. I'm not worried about that. But this is the section that Human Good is concerned about or wants to focus on. Not concerned, that's the wrong word. So if you were to go down here and in your preferences, you would put allergies, diet information, things like that. Dining could go in and look and say, oh my gosh, she has a severe MSG allergy. We've got to make sure that we never, that we're very mindful of that. We never give her any products with that. So this is a resource for other team members to get in and look at information that might be pertinent to them. Scrolling down, activities. You can fill this out. This is not as important. Human Good doesn't care about this, but you can say, yes, I like to get up at 10 a.m. and have coffee by the pool and whatever it is that you do. That's not as important. I know that's what you all do. Sorry. I can't hold the microphone and scroll. Okay, then you can write in favorites here. I'm not as worried about this either. So if you don't fill this out, I don't really care, but it, it's another place for for team members to be able to come in and say, oh, wow, I never knew her favorite movie was such and such. The next time that it's on this Turner Broadcasting, I'll make sure that she knows about it. So it's a way for life enrichment, nursing, dining, sales to get to know a little bit more about you. If you don't put it in, it's okay. But go and favorite color, favorite drink. So if a new resident was coming in and they filled in that information, dining could, on their first day here, put a little chocolate mousse because they said that was their favorite dessert on their tray that day. Just an idea. But see, you scroll all the way down to the bottom and it says add interest. This is the part that they want us to make sure that you fill out. And so there's all these different categories. And you're just going to go through and say, wow, I want to sing in the choir. I want to do community service projects. I want to lead a program. So you would just keep scrolling through all of these, and there's lots of them. And you would just check them off. And then that's all you have to do. From there, that information, I'm able to pull that information and run metrics on, wow, 100 people like baking. So I better start having a weekly baking group with our residents. It's just a way for us to make sure that I am designing programs that you're interested in. Instead of me, all of you guys are actually, White Sands is the best residents because you tell me what you want to do. You're always giving me wonderful suggestions and I appreciate it, especially since I don't get any of the local papers or anything. So if you see something, you send it to me right away. If I can make a trip out of it, we do, and we go, and it's wonderful. So I appreciate it. But this is just a way to make sure that the CSC sees that we're doing programs that you want to do, that you're interested in. So that's it. It's pretty easy once you get to that part. If you don't fill out the other stuff, I'm not worried about that. But this is the stuff that we're going to focus on in 2025. Yes, Sue has a question.
Cell phone, because I can't find it. You have to go to a computer to find
I think you could do it on your cell phone.
I think you can too. Luis is going to try to find it on his cell phone. Yes, so the question was, Sue wants to know if you can find it on your cell phone. Luis is going to figure that out. Chuck. Chuck's question was, how many of us are looking for more things to do at White Sands? Well, if there are people that are looking for more things to do, I'm going to find them and I'm going to provide this. Oh, you can do it on your cell phone. Can you, well, we can't screen share that, so sorry about that. But if you need a tutorial, don't forget I have Cubico Cafe every Tuesday from 3 to 4. I've been really lonely lately. Nobody's been coming. So if you come and you want to just sit with me and we can put in all your interests, that would be really fun. No, you can do it on your iPhone. It's what Louise said. So yes, you can do the interests on your iPhone. You may have to just scroll down a little farther. Is it?
So the mobile website and the mobile app, the user interface is different from what you're seeing on the computer. So it might put things in different positions or under a certain subfolder, but there is a way to actually put this information in from the mobile app.
Thank you. Luis explained it in tech talk, which I don't understand. Okay, so that's any other questions about Cubico? Yes, Anita. Well, I don't think it's going to be that unwieldy, Anita, because it's just a report that I can pull. And then I would just, Cubico is pretty amazing, and our little test guy, Donald Duck, doesn't have a lot of stuff in his profile, but as you, sorry, let me go back if I can go back. Luis, can you help me just scroll back up? I was trying to get into his account. No, maybe it's personal. And I think because Donald Duck hasn't done anything, when you go in and look at your, or at least when I go in and look at a resident's profile, I get this dimensional wellness chart, a circle. And if we're putting in activities that you're participating in, like I do for all the trips, but we don't put in for bridge or whatever else. But if all those things were added in here, we're taking attendance, it would give you a circle that would say, wow, Anita has attended 75% of meetings, but she hasn't done any concerts. And it would show, oh my goodness, so maybe we need to find a better balance. But if that matches what you're telling me your interests are, then I'm saying Anita's doing exactly what she wants to be doing. But there's a way in everybody's profile to see that. And I can see that as an admin. I don't think you can see that, but it's another metric that it offers just to make sure that also our programs are balanced. It goes through and looks at all of the things we have scheduled and says, wow, she is really heavy on gambling, but we don't have any baking. So maybe we need to do that. No, that's not how it's divided, but yes, it's a way for us to also monitor our programs. So I don't think it's going to be that hard, but I will see when we get into it, Anita. But thank you. Any other questions? That's the next one.
Two questions. Can we use the absence tab to record absences instead of filling out a form at the front desk?
Not at this time. It will be possibly in the future.
Okay. Second question is, when will these changes appear in Cubico?
Well, we'll be working. You can go in and do all this now. So all of this is available. It's been available since Cubico started. We just never put a focus on it. We were just trying to get our hands and head around Cubico in the beginning. Not true, Natalie?
No, it's been in there.
Yeah, it has been in there. Okay, so that's Cubico. Remember, Cubico Cafe, every Tuesday from 3 to 4, come and I'll answer questions the best I can. I know that Amelia is having a problem with transportation. I emailed you back, but we'll figure that out. Okay. Then the other thing, oh yes, Carolyn. 3 to 4 on Tuesdays, every Tuesday. And Mona Whiteman, my assistant, is also there to answer questions if you need help. Yes, Gabrielle. Oh, Cubico Cafe is right here at the bar, but we're not drinking, we're working. You're right, but it might take us longer to figure things out. I only have an hour. Yeah, I would have to do it over and over again. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to talk about, well, two things I want to talk about. One is there's been a lot of questions about the calendar. And I know that some people have asked that we put a giant residential living calendar up on the bulletin board. And for many, many years, I did post a calendar, but I said, don't rely on this calendar because one, it's subject to change and we're not going to repost a calendar every time. For example, gingerbread house party changes times from 2 to 1. We're not going to post a giant calendar. So it's there for your reference, but don't count it as verbatim. The very best place to check the calendar is the Sandpiper, because that page is updated weekly. And that's always been what I've said. Don't, even Cubigo, sometimes, like if Mahjong was canceled that day and I don't get the message about it, I haven't put it in Cubigo. So that won't even be the most updated. Always the best is the Sandpiper calendar page. So that calendar, the big IL calendar, will still go up there. It's really better as a sales tool. They mail it out to prospects just so they get an overview. But you can also go into Cubigo and you can go into the calendar section or the activity section, and you can see a day, a week, and a month at a glance of all the activities. You can even print from there. Yes, Irene.
Making changes. For example, something just came out that from something like what you say about the gingerbread house thing, that you had to change it from 2 o'clock to 1 o'clock. If for that day, with your activities scrolling up and put the proper time on it, then everybody who get used to getting information from Cubicle will know that it's a new time.
A faster way. As soon as I made the change, I posted it on the news feed. And to me that, and I think I sent it out with an email notification as well. So I think that's the fastest.
Place for you to check the time changes.
Hopefully, yes. But like, then this is one more thing. Sorry, Shelly, I'm taking too much time. So one little problem I have when I'm putting in the activities for Cubigo, so every activity has to be created individually. Now, if there are reoccurring things like chat with Shelly, we put it in every month at the same time. But every, let's say the Green Committee has an event coming up. It's really important for me, that the chairs of all the different committees submit those flyers to me or updates or changes to me, because I'm the one that makes the changes in the activity calendar. So if I don't get those changes, or if I don't get a flyer ahead of time, then I have to wait till it gets published in the Sandpiper, and then I do a cut and paste from that and stick it in the news feed. If committee chairs could get me the information as soon as they have it with a flyer, that would be great. Then I can make sure that the calendar is staying updated so that when you do pull things from the calendar, it's all accurate. So that would be a big plea from me, is if you go ahead and make sure that I get the flyers on time in a timely fashion, or if something changes, hey, Pat, Mahjong is canceled for today, and Irene's always good about that, then I can go and write canceled on there. I can even send a blast with an email notifying you that there's been a change. Another thing going back to that is, if you actually sign up for activities, I want to go to Mahjong, you do sign up for trips, that's perfect, because I monitor that to get the tickets and all that. But if you sign up for other activities like bridge or something else, and something happens and it changes, the time changes, it cancels, it's going to send you an email and say, hey, Mahjong is canceled for today. So then you don't have to worry about going back and checking your calendar. It's gonna send you a reminder notice or an email saying, hey, it's changed. Yes, Eduardo. Uh-oh.
Jennifer and Uma assignments. But when you're talking about sudden changes, sometimes they say, well, we need to use the Jack Patton rule for X or Y, and so Mahjong is sent elsewhere, sent down here, or we have to cancel for the day. And so I just raised that as a question. It's a complication for you.
It does make it hard, and that's why if if committee chairs could always send me their information if things have canceled or changed as soon as possible, then we can go ahead and make the change in Cubigo, and it can send out an email if you've signed up for that activity that there's a change. But if there is a change and nobody's signed up, but you want it to be known, just let me know and we'll put it on Cubigo in the news feed or as a priority message. Yes, Irene.
Make sure that participate, that particular committee sign up for the activity.
Would it help me if people signed up for the different activities? Sure. It would help. It would help because you would get notification of changes. If one day we start taking participation attendance for Bridge Mahjong, which could be in the future, I don't know that, then yes, that would be helpful. And you don't need to, but it is a nice way for us to see how many people are attending different events. Okay, enough Cubigo. My eyes are glazing over. The other thing I just wanted to remind you that we did change the gingerbread house making party from 2 to 1 on the 12th. So you could all attend the fascinating lecture on from the Green Committee about microplastics. Okay, thank you, Louise.
Thank you, Pat. Who was confused when Louise started typing Donald Duck? Was it just me? I thought he had a new email address that I wasn't aware of. Okay, so I have included all of the information that Pat just shared with you in the following slides. So you can go through and do this in the convenience of your home. Just click through and follow the directions that she's provided. Because that was a lot of information. Okay, I'm going to talk about renter's insurance. This has come up a couple of times recently. I know it was a topic in Gaggle Mail as well. So White Sands only covers the structure of White Sands. We do not cover your lost hearing aids or lost dentures or lost favorite blanket. That's where renter's insurance would come in. And I don't have any recommendations for you. Maybe you can speak with your fellow residents on who they use. I know some people like Eduardo has his renter's insurance through his auto insurance, but we do not cover those personal items. It's not a mandate. It's not a requirement to move into White Sands with renter's insurance. It is strictly optional, and that's for you to decide. Okay. Next is Gaggle Mail. Just a reminder that Gaggle Mail is not an official site for White Sands information. It is a resident-only platform. I would encourage you to reach out to the appropriate department head if you have specific questions. And it is not a bother. That's what we're paid for. I know a lot of people don't want to bother us, but that's why we're here. We are here to serve you. So please don't bother. Please don't hesitate to reach out to any of us. You can reach out to me for anything. And if I don't know the answer, I will direct it towards the appropriate department head. But I just want to remind you that Gaggle Mail is not an official site for White Sands information. Thank you. And then monthly billing statements, you've been heard. I know there were a lot of comments and confusion really around the below market discount, which is on your statement. Those of you that are new or have never seen that below market discount, essentially what that is, we are given one opportunity to place a charge in each of your accounts for your room. And then to back out that, for those of you that have been here longer, we had to apply a below market discount because the rates exceeded what you had been paying all along through the different percentage increases. So I know that was confusing for some. I had people tell me that this was not legal. It was legal. And then I had people tell me that it felt like very off-putting because every time they received their bill, they thought, uh-oh, if I were to move out, White Sands could make this much more money. So that was certainly not the intent either, but enough of you have asked for that to be removed, that Human Good has worked with Point Click Care, and we are working on removing that. I'm not sure if it will be removed by the time we print statements on Monday or not, but that is in the works. So thank you for relaying that, and that is happening. Massage room. So due to the third floor assisted living construction, the massage room needed to become the assisted living life enrichment team office space. So the massage room is temporarily on hold. I know Judy that completes the massages here has reached out to you, and she can do those in your apartment, or there's a little space back in the therapy office that the PT uses that can also be used, and therapy has given us permission to use that as well. Dr. Bazillion, our new acupuncturist, is also going to be using that space back in the PT area. But this Saturday, he's going to use the exam room in the clinic. So I know 3 of you have signed up to see him, and Nancy has relayed those messages to you that your appointment will be in the exam room in the clinic. Podiatry services were also being held in the massage room, and that will temporarily take place in the 3rd floor lounge. And that will begin with their next scheduled date of December 12th. Next, IRS scam. So this was something that Human Good had asked all of the communities to speak on because it's become quite prevalent. So essentially what it is, the lure spoofs you into thinking that you have a discrepancy in your tax form. However, the email address does not match a government domain, but some of our residents, not here, I'm not aware of anyone specifically here at White Sands, so some people outside of the community have clicked on that. And then the spoofer will ask you to put your tax information into a link, which then, of course, they have all of your information, name, social security number, address, all of that. So don't fall victim to these scams. We've talked about scams a lot, and knock on wood, we've not had one recently. So hoping to keep that streak up. 911 calls. So some of you are newer. I just want to kind of go over 911 calls again. We have a system in place. When we call 911, we notify the front desk, who notifies security, and then security will meet the police or the EMTs at the corner and direct them into the building so that they can quickly go to your apartment. You all know that our building is not always user-friendly for finding apartments quickly, so security will help to offset that. I've had residents ask me if they can call 911 directly. Of course, you can call 911 directly. We do ask, though, that you notify the front desk so that we can start the process and have security escort them in. Also, if it's an emergency where you're needing hospitalization or going to the emergency room, the clinic staff will start the process of printing off your face sheet and your insurance cards and getting everything ready to go for the EMTs. So it really expedites the process, and it's to your benefit to let us know. So I just wanted to remind you all of that. We did have a situation Sunday evening. You probably all got calls, and some of you received calls from me, where the San Diego Police Department notified us that someone inside of the building had dialed 911 and then hung up. They didn't know exactly the apartment. The person did not leave their name. So we did a full search. We called all of you. We checked on everyone, and we found what happened. It was actually a resident with some cognitive impairment trying to dial out 9, then 1, and then the phone number for the person that she was trying to reach. So I apologize for bothering you all on a Sunday evening. We do know that Luis is the master here, and he can now pull up all of the call logs and help us going further. So I do apologize for that inconvenience on Sunday night. And Venus may have knocked on your door if you didn't answer your phone. Also, I've been talking in previous meetings about not answering your phone if you don't know who's calling. You were very good about that Sunday night when I called you from my personal cell phone number and no one picked up. But as soon as I came into the community and called from my office number and it identified me, everyone picked up. So you followed my directions. Well, I appreciate that. I had to laugh as I was driving in that night, that everyone was really following that request. Holiday season. So the holidays, of course, can be a time of joy and a time of happiness, but for some it is not. For some, it's a time of reflection and sadness. And every year around this time, I do have people coming to my office just missing their loved ones or their families. And I encourage you to reach out to one another and support one another. You may know of someone that needs additional support during the holidays. Invite them for a meal or to an outing. If you personally feel like you are just lonely and not doing well this holiday season, I invite you to call the social services department or schedule a date with someone here to connect. If you know of someone that's going through similar problems, maybe reach out to them. As I look around the room, I see some of you that have lost loved ones this year, and it's a new time for you and it's a new season. So support one another. We are always happy to help as well. And I've included the number for social services on there. Next is reflections from 2024. Presidential election year. I just personally want to thank you all for, being gracious and kind during the election year. I know everyone has strong feelings. I had very few complaints, and in years past, it wasn't always that case. I had a couple of people post political signs on their lanai, and I just asked them to politely remove them, and they did graciously. Same with the staff. There's very strong political feelings, and the staff really did a great job as well. I can't say that so much for the outside of White Sands, if you watch the news and things, but I was really, really very appreciative of everyone during this kind of volatile presidential election year. Another reflection from the year was we had a very big plumbing backup, which I'm sure you all remember, which is on the West Campus near the clinic. And unfortunately, I have sad news to report on that. We continue to have wipes in the pipes. Lorraine shared at our department head meeting on Tuesday that when we flush the pipes on a regular basis. That's just part of the maintenance. It's part of preventing this problem. They had a considerable amount of wipes still in the pipes. We do empty the vat twice a day. She explained where they take this long glove and they clean out the vat and they pull out the wipes. It's quite a gruesome project. So I would appreciate if everyone could continue to spread the message of no wipes in the pipes. I know the packages say that they're flushable, but they are not good for our pipes, even if they say flushable. So if you could pass on that message, I'd appreciate it. Irene. How are the outside helpers being informed of that? It's a good question. We have lots of notices in the higher levels of care. We have actual laminated signs that say no wipes in the pipes. I know Nicole is good about educating her team members, and we typically only use one source for other outside vendors. We use one company that supports Nicole, and she's communicated that with them as well. But it's education, 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 I think is the key to this. I also reached out to my peers to see if they had any contraptions that they put in their toilets or anything, and everyone really kind of shared our same sentiment. There is not a magic. If anyone wants to invent something, I'm sure it would be used in these types of places, but they all said the key to their success is just education. So we will continue to do that. And then some milestones as you're looking at reflecting back on 2024, kudos to the sales team for doing their jobs. We had high occupancy and residential living, assisted living and memory support. We did not meet our expectations for occupancy in the health center, however. We did exceed budget expectations. Venus and her team completed a very extensive transition to point-click care. That's our medical records system, and it is now also our billing system. And then Lorraine and her team completed many projects, including the solar project, and effectively installed a bird deterrent. That was good. Spectrum upgrade, and I wrote in there ×2 because we came to your apartment 2 times to complete that transition. And then the Verkada systems installed, that is the mail system, the security cameras, the fobs, and now the parking garage cameras allowing you to enter without clicking on your remote. We also rated as one of the top senior communities by the La Jolla Light. We tied for first. And then we were also recognized by Newsweek, which brings me into the next topic of this Newsweek survey. It just came out a couple of weeks ago, where they recognized the top 300 CCRCs in the nation. It was based on 4 data sources: a national online survey, which accounted for 70% of the total score. Last year, that was 90% of the total score. So the scoring was a little bit different this year. There was a visitor satisfaction score, which accounted for 15% of the total score, an accreditation score accounting for 10%, and then Google reviews, which accounted for 5% of the total score. They also noted that all facilities undergo an additional process of quality assurance to determine if significant events occur, such as insolvency and prolonged financial difficulties. So how did White Sands rate? White Sands ranked 35 in the nation and number 4 in California. So yeah, something to be proud of. And then Human Good had 8 CCRCs on the list of the top 300 in the nation, with our sister community of Viverdi and Santa Barbara ranking in the top spot in the nation. I know, good for them. And that is all I have. Any questions for me at this time before we start the gift card giveaway? Yes, Chuck. Do we know how much money we're saving each month on our electric bill? So we've been asking for a better breakdown of that cost. All of our bills go through the home office. They're coming up with what's called a Power BI report. It will be through our IT department. They've not completed that yet. I did have an email from Tom Walls maybe a month ago where he reached out directly to the SDG&E company, because I just hadn't seen significant drops in the financials yet. And anyway, that gentleman from SDG&E reached out to me. He said, don't look at the dollars, look at the use, look at the usage. So our usage was up. But overall, if you compare dollars per dollars, it looked like we had saved about $4,000 in that short time frame. So when I have more information, when I can give you that, I know it's a tool they want to put right on Keepago where you can click on it and see the savings. When that rolls out, I will let you know. Any other questions for me? Yes. Yes, if you accidentally call 911, stay on the line. Give them your name, your apartment number, and that will help. But then just tell them that it's not an emergency. If it's not an emergency, yes. Any other questions or comments or anything in the chat? No? Okay, I do have a couple given. Yes, Eduardo.
Yes, if you have an emergency, first call, push the button or call the clinic. Rather than yourself call 911, because you are stressed and you're not going to think clearly about how to instruct the emergency personnel of where your apartment is and what your problem is. And I think that if you go first to the health center, then that would make things a lot better for everybody.
So Eduardo's comment was, if you have an emergency, he suggests you first press your button or your pendant, or you call the clinic and get someone to your apartment first because you're under stress. You may not be thinking clearly, and they can assist you. That's good advice, right? We prefer you call us. I'll just let you know what happens as well. If you press your button, or if you're someone that has a pendant, you are put in the queue. So if there are 3 people that have pushed the button before you, they're going to be serviced before you. So it could take a little while. So if you are having a heart attack or something that needs immediate attention, and you don't want to wait for the clinic anymore, I recommend you call 911 yourself, but then call us and let us know so that we can escort in the EMTs. That would be the fastest way. That would be really the only time that I suggest you call 911 directly, is if it's a real imminent danger that is time sensitive. Thank you for that suggestion, Eduardo. Someone has their hand raised in the chat. Oh, over here as well. I'll take you all first. Anne.
Was 10 o'clock at night in the apartment. I immediately called the clinic. Within 3 minutes, we had 3 nurses, and 1 was already on the phone with the ambulance.
Nice. So Anne just shared her experience when her husband fell. She called the clinic, and within 3 minutes, she had nursing staff in her apartment, 3 of them, and 1 was already calling the EMTs.
Yes, they can prioritize. If there's an issue, call the front desk. They can override.
Yes, you can. Correct. If it's a dire emergency that's time sensitive and you cannot wait any longer, you can always call the front desk and they can order a stat call to the nurse in the clinic. Please explain your situation though, that it's urgent, and please use that sparingly for real true emergencies. But yes, you can call the front desk and they will radio a stat call to a certain apartment. Yes, thank you for that. And then there's a hand raised. Oh, Irene. Okay, so that is a good point, Irene. So Irene just said, no, I know. Irene just said, please remind people if they have to call 911, the process of calling that. So when I was here Sunday night, from my desk, I dialed 911, not 91911, which was our old phone system. Now it's only 911. And I called and I asked them what number showed up. I know I had a resident that called and hung up, and I didn't know if I would get through or not. I didn't know if I would need to call 911. And Lorraine also tested that for us recently. So you do not need to dial 9, then 1. It can just be directly 911. And I know Alan is wonderful and created these cards for everyone to put by their phones, what to do in the event of an emergency. And on there, it says 91911, because at the time, our old phone system required that. So we can update those, and I will ask Caroline Mickle to do that, and then I'll give them to Alan to pass out to all of the block captains so that we can make that change. You no longer need to dial 911 and 911, but thank you for that. Any other questions in the room before I go to the people on Zoom? Dorothy.
Get for the TV,
Spectrum. New question on Spectrum. Okay.
Call maintenance, or do we call Spectrum directly?
So, okay, if something goes wrong with the DVR, who do we call first? Lorraine said maintenance first. Okay. Any other questions in the room before we go to the chat? There's someone with their hand raised, I saw. Shirley Budd. If you could ask your question, if you want to unmute Shirley and ask your question, that would be great.
Okay, in fact, this occurred to me when I first saw that one was supposed to call 911 to get an outside line. At the time I saw that, I thought that is just asking for a problem because of the 9-1. Is there any thought to changing what the outside contact is for getting an outside line? So it wouldn't be so susceptible to misuse.
Well, that's a good question, Shirley. I don't think we've given any thought to changing it, and I don't know if it's possible, but we can look into it. Thank you for bringing that up, by the way. Any other questions or hands raised in the chat, Louise? Anything else from the chat? No. Okay, any other questions in the room here? Okay. It's the holidays, so I thought we'd have a little fun and hand out some gift cards. It's been a while since we've done that. So we'll test everyone's knowledge of my mistake. When and where is the annual Christmas program being held? Louise? Friday at 4 p.m. Where? Yes, very good, Louise. Thank you. Okay, next one, raise your hand. So show of hands. When can you make your New Year's Eve reservations? Karen, tomorrow. Yes, Karen. Karen wins, thank you. I'll save one card for those that are on Zoom. Next, show of hands. When is the guest room open house, date and time? Yeah. Kathy, December 10th, do you know what time? 2 o'clock? 2 o'clock, we'll take it. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. It's 2 to 4:30. Okay. Next one, Pat discussed a 2025 Human Good Initiative regarding Cubigo. Does anyone want to take a stab at explaining it? Just the gist. Eduardo.
Fill in your profile.
Fill in your profile, perfect. Yes, thank you. And then I have one for the Zoomers. So get your typing fingers ready. First to enter the correct answer into the chat wins. And that question is, name one 2024 milestone that was listed in the presentation. Louise might have to tell me who the winner is.
McNeely occupancy.
Yes, from Judy McNeely Occupancy. She's a quick typer. She's won before. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening and happy holidays to you all.